we're back with another video. Welcome back, or welcome to my channel. And the other day I was wondering, why are scary movies not scary? Like, I can never find a good horror movie. It's also Halloween for you guys. How dare I start the video without wishing you guys a happy Halloween? What were you for Halloween? Comment down below. But I did a bit of research because for me personally, I know there are some people who hate horror movies and they find them super scary. I don't find them scary at all. I like watching them, but they're not scary. Also, spooky lighting. Maybe this would help scary movies? Totally. Red LED lights where you can barely see me and the quality is shit. Would help out everybody. Anyways, so essentially, I have a script. I have a script, guys. And let's go. My bad. I'm sorry. It's okay. It's okay. I saw the red light. Do you guys see that? This is a photo on my phone of the script. Do you see that? You know what that light is? That's my phone. Okay, I don't have the like I don't have the my Face ID on, and that's the Face ID stuff. Why is it on when I don't use Face ID? Guys, like why is that light on when I don't use Face ID? Do they have my Face ID without me giving them Face ID? Conspiracy theory? I don't know. Anyways, so the first reason that like horror movies aren't like hitting like they used to, they aren't scary like they used to, they were never scary, is also overexposure. Horror like has become predictable. I mean, you know when a jump scare is coming. Like, watch a scary movie. I dare you to watch a scary movie and trust me, you'll know when a jump scare is about to happen. And also like the narratives are the same. Creepy kids, haunted dolls, haunted houses, people who are possessed. It's the same thing over and over again. But again, the thing is like, there's only so much you can do for something to be horror. Like, there's just only so many like, there's only so many kinds of like movies you can make. And like, after seeing everything, like, in every horror movie, it kind of, like, drifts away the shock factor. And, like, we know when to expect jump scares, and we're bracing for it when it's about to happen. We know it's gonna happen. And not only that, but also, like, personally, I find that, like, there's not enough use of jump scare. I feel like we need to figure out a way to make jump scares where you don't predict it. You don't know it's coming. Because, like now, like, horror movies are just, like, oversaturated and, like, the same story over and over again. But then again, the problem is there's only so many stories you can use. There's only a certain amount of narratives that can be used, which is, like, it kind of sucks, but, like, it's kind of what life is. So, we've heard, like, the same storylines, like, over and over again. Like, we're tired of it. But also, like, technology has gotten better, and I think, you know, the special effects can get pretty insane. Like, now we can't, like, tell what's real and what's not. But, like, I find CGI sometimes can be overused, that at some points it's just unrealistic. And like, it's not like back in the day when like horror movies had to like use special effects and stuff. How do I explain it? Like, they had to like go above and beyond. Now it's just CGI, and they just throw CGI on everything, and eventually it just becomes very unrealistic, and you can tell. like, people don't have to think outside the box anymore, and that kind of sucks. Everything is super polished, and polished can be good sometimes, but I find with horror movies, it can really take away from the fear factor. It could really take away anything and everything that the horror movie could have potentially been. And sometimes the thing is that you can get that uncanny feeling, I find, with, like, when people have to think outside the box, and we don't really get that anymore because everything is so polished. Everything is so CGI, so technology-wise, like, it's so well made, which is great, but it removes that uncanny feeling that you can potentially get, and uncanny is good because that's when your brain is, like, kind of creeped out by what they're looking at. Uncanny is when something looks human-like, but it's not human, and you know it's not human, so it gives you, like, uncanny. And, like, sometimes a polish, like, that polish, like, takes away from, like, the raw and settling feeling that made older films so much more terrifying. But then we can't talk about this without mentioning desensitization with being exposed to so much content online from real life and disturbing viral challenges. From disturbing viral challenges, like, as a kid, we all grew up with creepypastas, the 3 a.m. challenges, whatever, right? And because we grew up with those things as a kid, we eventually get desensitized to those things. Because as a kid, you found creepypastas, the 3 a.m. challenges, so terrifying. I remember as a kid, I was terrified of 3 a.m. challenges. I thought they were real. They obviously weren't, but I thought they were as a kid. And I think eventually as you watch more and more and you consume more and more of that content, of that type of content, you get desensitized to it. So those kinds of things aren't terrifying anymore. Like, the reason I brought this part up is because, yes, there are still some people who hate horror movies. And they are the fortunate ones because the movies actually do what they're supposed to do, which is creep them out. So I guess I could, which would make sense, because then it would depend if you're desensitized to it or not. So if you're someone like me who watched a lot of creepypastas, a lot of scary paranormal experiences, and we're watching the 3 a.m. challenges and whatever, I find like it can desensitize you. And then if you weren't like me, then you could potentially just not be desensitized and just be absolutely horrified from these movies. And one last interesting reason, which would be the rise of horror comedy and self-aware horror films. Like Scream, it's not terrifying. It's just like, it just uses like fun horror cliches. And like, there's also like, if you guys have seen it before, but I think it's called like Horror Movie or whatever. And it uses those narratives, and it's like not terrifying at all. It's just pure comedy. And it just makes fun of horror movies, and it just shows like the cliches. If you are like, I would say the movies can be very PG-13. So I would say if you are like of an older age, like around 16, I'd say you could watch it. So if you are around that age, I would recommend that you go and watch one of the movies on Netflix. And you'll understand what I mean. Like, it really brings out the cliches of what horror movies really are, like, what they are. And, like, on TikTok, there's a lot of TikToks that make fun of horror movies. Like, for example, white people in horror movies be like, or POV's family in horror movies when they hear that there's been a murder in the house. Like, there's so many of, like, everybody makes fun of horror movies nowadays because there's so many cliches, so many things that we know, like, so many things that we expect from horror movies. Like I said, if you look at the horror movies, a lot of the time it's white people who go to the noise. And in like some shows and stuff, sometimes they'll make fun of horror movies, where they'll make an episode where like there'll be like a noise, a scary noise or whatever, and like the white people go, and then the black person's like, nuh-uh, I'm not going. So I think there's also like that big joke with that, because usually that's kind of how it goes and stuff like that. So it's kind of just, at the end of the day, the point is horror movies, it's expected. We know exactly how it's going to finish. We know what's going to happen. We know when to expect jump scares. And it's oversaturated nowadays. And it really sucks, because I love scary movies, and I would just love to be absolutely terrified to even a point where I can't even sleep. Please scare me. I dare ya. Like, I went and watched Insidious, the last Insidious movie, like a year ago, last summer, when it came out in theaters, and I was basically laughing the entire time. Like, I was not scared at all. I went to bed that night, slept fine. Like, it's not, I can't, no. Horror movies aren't scary anymore, which really sucks. And like every year at Halloween, I try so hard to pick good horror movies, even though I know deep down, no matter which horror movie I pick, none of them are going to scare me. None of them will. I would like to know, though, down below, your thoughts in the comments down below. Do horror movies scare you, or do they don't? What are your thoughts on horror movies? What maybe are your thoughts on, like, why horror movies aren't scary anymore? I would like for you guys to comment down below. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys had a wonderful Halloween. And I will see you guys. Please give it a like. Please get this video a like. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!